It's a very special spot in this community. This is the kind of the hallway in before the Rebbe's room. This is it. It doesn't mean sell all your possessions and like try to live on a mountaintop. It means start living goodness and kindness. So this is the most momentous time in the history of the world. So it's a very, very exciting time. So 16 years ago, the Rebbe passed away on a certain day of the Hebrew calendar. On the 13th of a certain day. Historically, what happened on that day? The Jews had just entered the land of Israel. And they have a commandment to take this valley. Well, there's an opposition force there. So they go to war. In the middle of the battle, they're having a little bit of a hard time. So Joshua says to God, he says, you know what? It's getting pretty bad down here. Can you stop the sun for me? The sun stops. They win the battle. The question is, if you can pray to God, just pray to kill the enemy. What do you mean stop the sun? That's a minor detail. How it's sun shining compared to winning the battle, right? So Joshua said like this. He says God can do anything. Sure, he can wipe out the enemy. But if he wipes out the enemy, then we didn't win the battle. Because God won the battle. So Joshua wanted that his soldiers should win the battle, but they need more time. Okay? So the Rebbe said like this. He says, I have done everything I can do to bring the Messiah. Now it's up to you. He says, could God just bring the Messiah? Yes. But he wanted it to come from us. So therefore, that's the day that the Rebbe, so to speak, removed himself from the situation. Because now it's up to us. There's enough food in the world for everybody to have plenty. It's distribution is the problem. We have the ability to make the world the way it's supposed to be. So that's where we're at right now. We have to pull together. But if a father sat down with his son and he says, kid, he says, look, I'm a billionaire. And I don't care what you do to make a living, but I want you to make a living. I will make sure that you're successful. But you still got to go do it. I mean, I'll figure out some way to make it look like there's customers, but they're not really customers, but I'm going to make you successful. Okay? So the kid's completely self-assured. He's going to go out because the most fear of doing is fear of failure. So God has given us a prophet. It says the time has arrived. All you have to do is go out and make the world the way it's supposed to be. Make the world good, full of goodness and kindness. I'm guaranteeing your success, but I want you to be part of it because it's not a Lone Ranger job. He wants us to succeed. That's what it's all about. That's the theme song. There are 304,805 letters in the Torah. 304,805 letters in the Torah.
What's the middle word? Middle letter?
I'll tell you soon. Hold on. So what happens like this, if any two letters touch each other, it invalidates the entire scroll. If one letter out of the 304,805 breaks off, one letter, then it invalidates the entire scroll. So let's say we're in Australia, one letter comes off, gotta get it fixed, we can't fly a scribe out, we send the Torah here, and he then goes over every single letter, 304,000, takes up to a year to fix a Torah, and make sure that every single letter is perfect. Originally, it has to be written with a feather. Can you just go over here?
Yeah, it's not exactly a feather.
Very good observation. So what happens is like this. Originally, a Torah has to be written with a feather. But it can be fixed with this, with a pen. What happens is, the reason it can be fixed with a pen is that when he originally writes a Torah, he has to say the word, then write the word. So imagine this. he's taking either a print copy or a real Torah, and he looks at it, he says the word, then he writes a word, but the feather only has enough ink for one letter. But the word has 5 letters. You will see that the letters start pretty smoothly. Now, Hebrew is written from right to left. If you look on the left-hand column, you will see some of the letters either squished up or elongated. See this? This right here? Right? Why? Because if in the Torah you have an extra word, you can't go to the next line. Every single Torah on that line has the same words. So that he has to, as he's writing, as he's saying, he has to also justify it to make sure it ends smoothly. A scribe can only do about 1 column a day. There's 200 columns. It takes about 60 animal skins to make a Torah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? I left my cell phone at home. Everybody, I want you to just notice everything in this room. There are things happening here that most Jewish people have never seen, even who live in this community. I just want to pass a few things around. It's skin from under the chin of a cow. Pass it around. It's very thick. It's very solid. It's very hard.
It's heavy.
Okay.
It is.
And I want you to show. I'm going to show you the next exhibit, and that is the same piece, which has been soaked and then stretched. Now look, you can bend it a little bit. Okay. Okay. Pass that around. Now what we do is we take a big sheet of that, which is an animal skin, and then we're going to form like an accordion. We're going to make 4 chambers. 4 chambers. We're going to hollow out the inside. See that? Hollowing out the inside. Then we're going to fold this over and we're going to paint it. Pass that around. And let me show you what you get. Lo and behold, you get something that looks like a block of wood. But it's actually 4 separate chambers. You could have put a butter knife down there. We put it on our heads like this, and it penetrates into the psyche of a Jewish man that he should be in love with God and focus consciousness on God. Let me show you what we put inside this. I'm going to pass that around too. Pass it around, don't pass out. Right over here, look. These are the 4 sections of what is written inside those black boxes. It is the 4 sections of the Bible that focus on the commandment to put on the black box, called tefillin. Okay? Tefillin. You can go over there and take a look. He's actually going to combine it. I'll take it in a second. Now, what's this? You're going to see some hair next to him. Soon he's going to take the hair and he's going to wrap it.
We already did that.
You already did that, okay.
But I'll show you what's going on inside if you want to see.
That's the way. He's going to show us just for us. Inside he has taken a piece of parchment and wrapped it inside. Now, did you do the other box too?
They're already in, yes.
Okay.
And they don't require any service.
No, this is considered servicing. See, inside he has taken that parchment, that animal skin, with Hebrew writing on it, and he inserted it into the slots.
But why are they little strips though?
That's the parchment's being held in with pieces of parchment.
So that one has a big hole in it, and this
Which
has
one?
4 little
This
holes.
is the arm tune, has 1 compartment, this one has 4.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Why the difference?
It's the same information. One has been applied in 4 sections, and one has complete on 1 scroll.
In the commandment it says you should bind them for a sign on your arm and for boxes between your eyes. When it says a sign on your arm, it says it in the singular form. And when it says boxes between your eyes, it says in the plural form. That's what it means.
So they're different.
Yes.
So the paragraphs are the same, but the way they're actually assembled and made is different, right?
It's called a pair. Now,
It's actually
How are they different?
no, one is the same information in 4 sections, and one is in one. See, this is for the
Same information goes
Yes.
on the arm as the head.
Yeah, no, I'm
Where are you from?
They snip it here and they put it in one section of the head.
And that is just about wearing the boxes?
Yes. During the Holocaust, they still wanted to put on those black boxes. So, here's what they did. Those that were outside went and produced very small tefillin so that they could hide them somewhere in the body, sneak them into the camp so that enable others. So they gave up their life. They could have tried to escape, but they gave up their life to intentionally being captured so that they could smuggle in a pair of tefillin. Now, we believe that is where these are from, because there's no other reason to make them so small as that. These are, as my children would say, they're twinksy. Yeah. These are perfectly made.
That means they had parchments in there and the writing was
Yeah.
doable.
Yeah, I'm
Unbelievable. It's unthinkable,
I'm
unfathomable.
going to show you the parchment right now.
You could show the parchment, Rabbi?
Yes. These first two are, by the way, yeah, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
does this save more cows than the other ones?
Remember, every letter can't touch the other one. The letter can't be cracked.
Unthinkable.
But you know what? It doesn't save the cow because we don't kill it for the skin. It's already been killed. I'm going to wrap it up now.
Det er den der armen. Den der armen har kun et hul. Nå ja.
Now, we got to make sure it gets it exactly right because we believe that the tefillin brings blessings. And if there's a letter missing, then a person's life will go into havoc. So, for example, if a person is not feeling well, a person has a car accident, we will bring these boxes and the scrolls on our door to the scribe right here and we say, can you please check every letter? Because something's going haywire in the physical world. We consider first there's the physical, the spiritual, then it comes down as a reflection. The physical is a reflection of the spiritual. So there's an obstacle that's going on in God's blessing. Therefore, go fix them.
Are they handwritten?
Yes, they're handwritten with a feather.
So you have many persons occupied by writing down things like that?
Yeah, most of them are in Israel because the cost of living is in Israel.
Okay.
Cost of living there is cheaper.
Det er et mærkeligt arbejde.
So he makes it look easy because he does it every day.
Pretty quick fingers.
8 hours a day.
That's for sure.